live, pal. Yes, indeed. So we've got a bushel of guests here this week. Dr. Satya Malik will not be joining us. He is on assignment in San Diego, but we're still going to have a whole lot of fun here today. Please, as you join wherever you are watching this episode of OpenCV Live this beautiful Thursday morning, tell us where you're joining from. I am, of course, coming to you from beautiful, fragrant Soma in San Francisco, California. And we've got count 'em, four guests here this week. Adrian, why don't you tell the people where you're joining from today, and we'll just go down the line, say hi real quick before we get started.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me.
You can go ahead and unshare the screen here if you don't mind as well, Jennifer, I think.
Yeah, well, I guess if you haven't seen from the slide already, I'm currently living in Chinatown, SF, and so I'm a master's student at the University of San Francisco, studying data science, and that's where I met all the other four that are gonna introduce themselves now too. So yeah, happy to be here.
Fantastic. Wei Chun, how about you?
Hey guys, I'm currently living in Chinatown SF2, just very close to Asia, 5 minutes walk. So I'm also a student at USF studying data science. I'm excited to be in this podcast, just sharing what we have in mind for you guys.
Yeah, hey everyone, my name is Benedict. You can call me Ben. I actually live with Wei Chun, so we're just across the other room. And yeah, I also live in Chinatown, and I'm born and raised in Malaysia, Wei Chun as well, and we actually flew from Malaysia together here. So yeah, happy to be here. Yeah, excited to talk.
Right on, welcome. And Jennifer.
Yeah. Hi everyone. My name is Jennifer. I am also from the beautiful, fragrant Soma area. But I grew up going to Chinatown from the Bay Area. And yeah, I think we're all just super excited to be here and super appreciative to have this time.
Thank you for joining. And yes, folks out there, wherever you're joining, let us know where you're joining from in the chat, wherever you're watching. We've got check-ins here from KSA, from lovely London, Canberra, Australia, Celis, Brazil, India, Basingstoke, Hyperiabad, India, Connecticut. Apparently it's 10 degrees Celsius in Connecticut right now, and Jen's is miserable. I feel that. Hello, Bangalore. Hello, Morocco. Hello, Albuquerque. I don't know how I mispronounced hello and correctly pronounced Albuquerque there, but we'll see. We'll see what goes on with the rest of the show. Hello, Chennai. We only have one AI assistant this week. They were gone for a while. I think maybe that company stopped giving away free credits or something. I'm not sure. Hello, Sri Lanka. Hello, Bangalore. Hello, Colorado. Hello, Madagascar, Morocco, Santa Clara, California. More Sri Lanka, Palm Beach. How you doing this morning, Bob in Palm Beach? Quick check-in over on the YouTubes. Pretty quiet over there. Only about 10 of you folks watching right now, but that will pick up. Hello from Malaysia in Central Virginia. Hello, Spain. Hello, Toronto, Canada. Hello, more California over on LinkedIn. Love to see it, folks. Love to see it. So, I think now is a pretty good time to get started. Hey everybody, and welcome to OpenCV Live, episode 161, if you can believe it. Dr. Satya Malik is on assignment, so I am your regular host with the regular most, the co-host with the co-most, the second banana who is second to none. I'm also your plus one and only. It's Mr. Nelson if you're nasty, but you, my dear friends, know you can call me Phil, and I'm here to remind you of a few things we do on every single episode of this show. The first of which is a giveaway to you in the audience. Stay tuned. Later on in the episode, I will be asking a trivia question based on the presentation from our guest today. We're also taking questions from you in the audience. So please use the Zoom Q&A button at the bottom of the screen if you're watching us on Zoom. If you're watching us anywhere else, use the chat system. We're on YouTube, we're on LinkedIn Live, and we're on Twitch. Just post your question in the chat. I'll be monitoring those and can bring them up later in the episode. Today, we've got a fun one for you. Our guests are from the Chinatown Hacks organizers. Chinatown Hacks is a new hackathon for high school students here in San Francisco's Chinatown. It's near and dear to my heart to have these events in my city, and so I'm super excited to be able to bring these folks to you. But before we get started, there's a few things I need to remind you of. First of which is that OpenCV is a nonprofit organization that develops an open source software library, and that means we need your support. You can help out OpenCV, help us keep the lights on. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization in the United States, which means that most likely any donations you make to us will be tax deductible for you in the US. Also, if you work for a large organization like Apple or Meta or Google or whatever, you can use Benevity. They have a matching donation portal that you can talk to your boss about and see if they do that. They may even also, if you donate some of your time to work on OpenCV, match that time value with money, and we would love to see that. So please go check that out. You can also make individual donations if you're a person that benefits greatly from OpenCV via Stripe or PayPal. Or if your company uses OpenCV heavily or has in the past, you can become a member organization. We've got bronze, silver, and gold membership options for different sizes of companies and what they can afford to part with financially, with different benefits and perks for being an OpenCV supporter. We've also got the OpenCV merchandise shop. Import CV2 t-shirts is all you really need. We've also got the OpenCV logo and the OpenCV I Love OpenCV shirt, designed by yours truly in English, simplified Chinese, and Spanish. So go check those out in Espanol if that's your thing. We've also currently got the Perception Challenge for bin picking, bpc.opencv.org. Submissions are open for this exciting robotic challenge. So go check that out. You've still got a little bit of time left to join a team and make your submissions in the first rounds. All the information is available at bpc.opencv.org. Another way you can support OpenCV is by sponsoring us on GitHub. We've got 13 sponsors there for $9 a month a piece. We really do appreciate all of our sponsors there, both past and present. I'll give them their quick 15 seconds of fame here. Thanks, Ecosystems. Thanks, Rungia. I love the Jaws avatar there. DJ Greenwood. Our homies at Rudis Labs. Got Talha Hussein. We've got Domenico. We've got RoboFlow. Alexander Ismailov, Nick Libertini, Blue Jay, Jesus Anaya, Victor Veravato, I don't know. I'm doing my best. And Sean Walbridge. Thanks so much, everybody, for that support. If you want to support OpenCV, go to github.com/sponsors/OpenCV. Having said that, I'm really excited to have our guests this week. As I said, there's a new hackathon in town, and it's Chinatown Hacks. I'd like to welcome Adrian to the show. Please, Adrian, tell the folks who you are a bit and what's the deal with Chinatown Hacks. We've got 3 more guests aside from Adrian, so we'll just go down the line here, and then we'll go into the presentation. Welcome, Adrian.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Phil. Sure, I can start with a little bit about my background. I'm actually originally from the UK. So shout out to the person in London. But yeah, I'm a master's of data science student at the University of San Francisco. And I got into this project, this Chinatown Hacks, kind of after being in some of the hackathons in San Francisco and just seeing how many resources are available for hackers. But there seems to be a lack of resources for high schoolers specifically. So that's how I kind of got into this. But yeah, I guess the rest of them can also introduce themselves.
Yeah, Wei Chun, go ahead and say hi to the folks.
Hey everyone, I'm Wei. I originally come from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, so about a 16 hours flight here to SF. So same with Adrian, I'm a master's in data science student at USF. And the whole point of this project that we are doing is basically we really wanted to host an event that really resonate with how we how we think hackathon should be like. So we really want to customize the experience really tune it for people who join this hackathon. Yeah, so really excited to talk about our experience here, and thanks Phil for inviting us.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. And we've got Benedict Neo here.
Yeah, hi everyone again. As I said before, I was born and raised also in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and I'm currently working at UCSF as a researcher, and I'm using AI for cancer research. And yeah, that's really what we're trying to deliver, like this idea of how AI can really solve like so many things. And we want to bring that experience also for high school students. And personally, I learned so much from hackathons, and we want high school students to get that chance as well. Yeah.
Fantastic. And we've also got Jennifer.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, I'm Jennifer. I've grown up in the Bay Area, and yeah, I work in a few startups. Currently working at Asurion as a data scientist. I would say I probably wouldn't know how to code if it wasn't for hackathons that I attended when I was younger. And I think knowing that we should be able to give opportunities to the new generation to kind of follow like a similar path and just give them more opportunities. And that, with that in mind, that is why I'm here with Chinatown Hacks. Yeah.
Fantastic. I think let's get started with the presentation, shall we?
Awesome.
Yeah, it looks like you're in split screen mode here. Can we get the...
Oh no, not
Yeah, it
small.
happens. It's one of those, I think we've broken every presentation software every possible way you can break it on this show. So that looks great. Go ahead.
Okay. Awesome. Well, yeah. Hi, guys. Thanks to everyone for being here. We are Chinatown Hacks, and we are the largest high school hackathon currently in San Francisco. Just so everyone knows, Chinatown Hacks is happening March 15th to 16th in the downtown USF, which is University of San Francisco location at 101 Howard Street. It is a high schooler targeted event. So if you or anyone you know who would like to attend, there's the info. And yeah, I'm going to give it to Adrian right here to talk a little bit about himself and I guess what he does a little bit in industry.
Yeah, so I can go into a bit about my background too. I actually joined the program, and so now I'm working as a machine learning engineer at Asurion on the same team as Jennifer. So some of the projects that I get to work on are like working on RAG systems for chatbots or voice to voice. So a lot of cool stuff there, and a lot of different applications of AI. And you'll kind of get the gist of that as we're talking about all our backgrounds too. I think Benedict can talk again a little bit about his, but yeah, take it away.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mentioned I currently work at UCSF, and specifically it's in the radiation oncology department. And the way we use large language models is you're given or you have these clinical notes of patients, brain tumor patients, and you also have imaging. So if you have these multimodal data, how can you leverage today like these large LLMs that can understand both images and text really well, like to capture all that context and predict stuff like progression or readmission or outcome, and just really help patients as well as the doctors to better serve the community. And yeah, it's really fun work, and I would never be able to get this chance without being at USF because that's how I got this internship. And yeah, we can go next to Jennifer to share more.
Yeah, so I know for me, I've been in the tech space for a little bit. I've done SWE, front end, UX, UI, PM, now data scientist. So kind of like a person with many hats. But I think when you work at startups, that's just kind of how the life is sometimes, you know. Shout out to people who go to startups and who work at startups. I think very, very impressive people. And yeah, so currently with Adrian at Asurion, and I think what's really interesting and what we're seeing right now in the industry is just how we can really push Gen AI and really like hit the like where there were barriers before are really surpassing them in ways that I feel like I haven't seen before in the industry. And I think that's what really excites me right now and what I'm really excited to bring to the future generation. Yeah.
I must say, your everybody's headshots are very impressive. They're much nicer than mine.
Yeah, professionally taken
Very,
by
very profesh.
yeah. I'll go next. So, um, in terms of industry, I'm currently the founding engineer at Inkling. So we are a platform to enable people to create, preserve, and send authentic information. So the problem with the internet nowadays is that we transact with a lot of people on the internet on the other side of the world, even though they are strangers. Think of Facebook Marketplace or any conversations that you do with strangers. We talk about anything with them, even though we don't really meet them or we don't really know who they are. So Inkling is a platform to be the middle person in between all of these transactions so that you know who they are, you know what they claim is authentic. Yeah.
Great. Okay. So, we talked a little bit about us, so we could probably go into the next one. Um, Here's a couple of images to kind of show our backgrounds. Uh, so I can start. My first hackathon, I joined when I was at UCLA. It was a remote hackathon. I didn't really know what I was doing. It was 2 days long, and yeah, it was a lot of just like scrambling to make something. It was the first time being in that kind of environment, so it was a big shift. Uh, but moving along since then, my favorite hackathon that I've been in was probably the Claude hackathon. If you can see on the top left, that's that's me presenting. But that was a great hackathon. It was only 5 hours, but I really felt that I got as much out of that experience as possible. Essentially, the project was just how do you use computer use, which is one of Claude's new like tools. Um, to kind of figure out a way to improve AI safety or do something for social good. And one thing I noticed was when you have an LLM control your mouse, for example, you can break CAPTCHAs. That was something that you couldn't do before, but if you say, "Hey, pretend to be a human now," get through this CAPTCHA. Yeah, I got through it 80% of the time. So it was really interesting to see how we could reinvent the CAPTCHA system to um, face these new challenges when it comes to using an LLM. Like numerical reasoning is bad for LLMs. Spatial reasoning is also difficult for LLMs. So creating new challenges really helped give me a better understanding of how LLMs worked in general. So yeah, that was very rewarding experience.
I think a funny thing that happened during that hackathon was the whole idea of breaking CAPTCHA came in the night before, where we figured out that, oh, actually, we managed to jailbreak computer use and prompt the agent to break all of the CAPTCHAs in the world. And then on the next day, we went into the hackathon trying to pitch this idea to tell them, oh, okay, we managed to break your agent. Is that a winning hackathon idea? So they told us that, oh, actually, um, that is not supposed to be possible, and they don't really want the whole world to know. So we pivoted the idea to how do we make a system that bots cannot break? How do we make captchas that are unbreakable by agents? Yeah, so I think that was like a pretty funny experience where we we did something that we shouldn't do and we pitch it to the organizers. Yeah. Oh,
That is pretty funny. We've had some conversations with the folks from HCAPTCHA. I don't know if you know those folks. I think Intuition Machines is the name of
mhm.
the company. We've had some talks with them about similar stuff. They're like, how do you once the agents get good enough and they can just read the screen, how do you improve the CAPTCHA to make it so You do have to at least be mildly human to to get past
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. And also if you look at the left middle picture, you really enjoy the food at Entropic's office. So food is great, people is great, hackathon is great. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I can go next. Yeah, my first hackathon was virtual, so I was still in Iowa for my undergrad. There's not a lot of hackathons in Iowa, as you might imagine. So I did a lot of virtual
Not a
hackathons.
lot of anything in Iowa.
That's true. Yes. Lots of corn though. Lots of corn. But
I didn't say it, you said it.
yes. Um, yeah, I did it virtually. It was with University of Southern California. I did it with my friend. It was just like for fun. Like I wanted to build something with React and Next.js to learn it because that was my first time like touching those tools. And yeah, we ended up building an app where you can vote memes. Like if you swipe left, you like it, or you don't like it, and you swipe right, you like the meme. So it was like a fun experience that yeah, I got to be a part of hackathons. And that honestly started my journey down to like so many other hackathons where I just continuously learn more and more. And yeah, that hackathon that Adrian mentioned was really uh the best experience, I would say, because it felt like we struck gold. Um, throughout the whole hackathon, from nothing to an idea to something that we can demo, all in like 4 hours. And I remember our demo wasn't even working on like across different laptops. Like in the end, it was only my laptop that worked for that demo. And when it worked, when we showed it, it was like we were honestly like in shock. But yeah, that was a fun hackathon.
Yeah. And like the reason for it not working is basically why LLM is not really deterministic. So sometimes it's it's able to break, sometimes it just pauses and does nothing. So sometimes you just have to try our luck. Yeah. Jennifer, do you want to share
Yeah.
your first hackathon experience?
Yeah, and just going a little bit with that, I feel like at hackathons, there's when you're about to present, there's always like, I want to say like computer performance issues, the Wi-Fi doesn't work, the API call gets overwhelmed. There's always something right when you're about to present, and then you have to promise people like, I promise it worked beforehand. But yeah, in terms of
The classic engineer, it works on my machine.
yeah, it's like I have to record it just in case.
Yes, whenever people demo here on the show, we call it a brave live demo because every live demo is brave.
Yeah, 100%. So I know for my first hackathon, and it's gonna be a photo of me where I look very young in front of the photo of me with a little badge. I was 14, 15 at the time, and that's Elizabeth Douglas. She is the CEO of WinkyHow. My first hackathon was at Google. As you can see, I was fangirling just a little bit. But at the time, I actually didn't know how to code. I started college early, so I was a bio major at that time, and yeah, I didn't know how to code at all. My friend just dragged me to a hackathon, and from there, I learned like all the fundamentals I needed to know to build a project and sustain that project outside that hackathon. My project was to build a social network for people with leukemia lymphomas, for the Leukemia Lymphoma Society, which was really close to my heart just because I fundraised a lot for them. And knowing people who face those challenges, it just means a lot to me. So yeah, being able to like use technology and empower like my community and what matters to me, it really inspired me to switch majors actually, and pursue tech. So yeah. And we actually all also attended a hackathon this past weekend. Um, Shout out to 11 Labs. Yeah, I think we've all attended hackathons together at this point. And what's really interesting about them, I feel like, is that none of them are ever the same. Wei talked about the food. I know one time we had sushi. Any other ones, guys?
Uh,
I think Hackathon
it's
Sushi is a great name for a band.
It was actually called Sushi Hackathon, actually.
Sushi Hackathon. Sounds delicious.
I know there's a lot of pizza and Coke for hackathons.
See, yeah, yeah. I think pizza is the de facto hackathon food, I would say.
Classic.
Oh, I have a question for you. So if you see on the right two boxes, like the world's shortest hackathon, do you wanna guess how short it is?
World's shortest hackathon. I mean, it would have to be less than a day, so like 6 hours.
It's 2 hours.
Wow, that is very short. That is very short. 2 hour hackathon.
Yeah,
What kind of prizes for the 2 hour hackathon?
I think because the one that we ran was sponsored by like hosted by NVIDIA and Russell. So the prizes was like a GPU signed by the man himself, Jensen. Yeah.
Man, that guy, huh? With his leather jackets.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's like all different kinds and all different sorts of hackathons. So I guess it's like different varieties and different things each time.
Yeah, that's true.
Cool. Yeah. Do we want to get to the next? Yeah, so then let's get into it a little bit. What is Chinatown Hacks exactly? Some more photos. I can just start with this. Yeah, so as we mentioned before, a lot of us live in Chinatown or have had very close experiences with Chinatown. And that kind of was where we all met each other on a serendipitous night at Yi's restaurant. And so that kind of kicked it off for us in terms of what kind of theme we were thinking about when it came to deciding what kind of hackathon we wanted to host. And through our experiences, like we learned a lot of times that AI can be used for so many things. And in particular, I feel like social good is something uh, that's important to also share, especially for the newer generation, to show that there's actually applications that you could build out to help the community, whether it's maybe like a translation application. For me, like some of the things that we were doing at 11 Labs was like we would have a accessibility application where you would capture a video feed, and that video feed would be fed through a vision to text model, and that text model would then generate a text to speech with a certain level of prompting. So that would help, for example, people who are visually impaired as they're going through the street. If they have a camera on, they can have certain things that are printed out as hazards, like, oh, there's a hazard 5 meters ahead. Look out for that, or something like that. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of uses for uh, AI in the means of social good, and as we're kind of looking at a younger audience, that's really the direction that we want to open the gates towards. So yeah, anyone else can fill in here.
I'm
Adrian.
more
Oh,
interested to know what everybody's go-to at Yee's is.
okay, back to this question. Jennifer, you can go.
I think last time I was there, I had the salt and pepper spare ribs. It was pretty damn good.
Mhm. You know what? That's my choice too.
Right on, right on.
Yeah. Wait, I gotta say, beef stew, amazing, amazing,
I've never had the beef stew there. Gotta have to try it next time.
incredible. Yeah.
I'm definitely a stew guy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I know Chinatown to us is all near and dear. Growing up in the Bay Area, my family would go like once every 3 weeks or so, and um when I was in college, I would just take Caltrain up and walk over from the Caltrain to Chinatown. Um, and yeah, if the question is like why are we called Chinatown Hacks? We really wanted to like see our community and the community that really helped grow and nourish us as individuals, and see like how we can give back to the community. So what we did actually was we spent a day on the streets in Chinatown, talking to people, just going around, seeing what the community needs, like how they feel about tech. You know, like San Francisco is such a tech hub. How does that translate in Chinatown? And when we brought in the idea of like a hackathon, actually, a lot of people in Chinatown didn't know what that was. So I think that just shows like how maybe we can add technology into our community.
Yeah, I think that's like a hard to believe statement, right? Because we are really at living in SF where we are literally at the bleeding edge of technology across the world. Why wouldn't everybody know about tech or like hackathons or like programming competitions? So that really opens our mind to really think about how do we want to promote tech and AI to the younger generations? How do we introduce them slowly by slowly into this kind of world? Because I truly think that AI is gonna replace some people, but also people can make use of AI to create new things, create new job opportunities, like look at things differently. So I think everyone should like try out AI sometimes, see what you can do with it, what you can build with it, how it can make your life easier.
Oh, yeah, I agree with Wei. And that's why like in our hackathon we provided some tracks for the high school students, and we gave them some ideas for how AI can help Chinatown. For example, can you use AI to protect and promote the Chinatown's cultural heritage? Can you help strengthen the community, like providing health services, financial literacy, or even some education? Like, can you use AI to help with translation? Especially since like Chinatown is mostly Cantonese. Like, so if you don't understand Cantonese and you're buying something at the grocery store, you might get shouted at, and also like helping local businesses and helping them streamline operations. Yeah, those are like some ways we really hope that the students help build solutions for using AI. Yeah.
Jennifer, have you not do you have a day that you never use AI?
One more time.
Do you have any days that you've never used AI, like no AI during that day?
No AI during that day. That's like if you told me, "Oh, is there a day you don't use your phone?" That I feel like that's like the new add-on, right? Like I feel like in a sense we're all using AI, even if like we're not really thinking about using AI.
Yeah, especially if you've recently updated the operating system on any of your devices and didn't opt out.
Yes.
If it's even possible to opt out in some of these systems, yeah.
Yeah, you do a Google search these days and you have like that little bar for like the AI answer. I use
Which I call the wild ass guess bar because it's wrong just enough that you can't trust it. You know, like if it's settling a bar argument, okay, sure. But if you're putting it in a research paper, don't listen to it.
I mean, right now there are many more like different companies doing AI searches. They're doing really well, like compared to like the wild guesses. And then there are some other companies doing research specific AI. So I think those are that there are new things coming out every day. So it's hard to keep up actually.
yeah.
Yeah, and here in Soma, of course, we're besieged by the Waymo cars. The parking garage near my apartment is one of the main charging hubs for the area, and so I constantly see them coming in and going out. And there was a very small amount of construction like a week ago, and so there was a road cone just encroaching a little bit on the exit, and the Waymo was very confused. Like it sat there. I stood there and watched it for 5 minutes before I left because I was like, okay, I don't need to do this. But it was there. There were two of them in a Mexican standoff to enter and exit the parking garage, and the city workers were sitting there just laughing at them, like, well, I don't know, who am I supposed to call?
Yeah,
I mean, if they,
oh, go away, go.
I was thinking like Waymos have like same algorithms, so if they do like rock paper scissors, they would shoot out the same thing every time. So that's why they wouldn't budge.
Deterministic, yeah.
You know, I saw.
Somebody should have just shoved one. Go ahead, Jennifer.
Oh, I just saw something interesting with the Waymo where I feel like it's learning how a human drives because I saw it cut into a lane. Like
Yeah,
just
there was a bit of a scandal where they recently they had to admit that they're programming these cars to do illegal things, like in a low key way, but still things that are not, like, if a human driver did them technically against the law, that would be a ticket. And so I'm very interested in to see when the first sort of legal, you know, guidance comes from these things. I think, can you be held responsible for intentionally telling a machine to break the law? I think you should be held responsible for that, but there's a lot of money on the other side, and so, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I feel like that kind of goes great into our next point, um, into like what motivated us to, come up with this hackathon. Like, it's very important to understand how AI works and also understand what are the limitations. Um, it's not a be all end all tool, at least not right now. And there's a lot of things to consider when it comes to using AI in effectively and ethically. And so there's a lot of considerations that come with using this tool. Um, and I feel like the best way to do that really is to just play around with it and see, like, what are some things that pop up, right? With the CAPTCHA uh idea we had before, like breaking the CAPTCHAs, that was pure curiosity. Just like, would it actually break a CAPTCHA? What, on the off chance that it does? And it did. And so when it happens, it's like, how do we work to, solve that issue, right? And so this is the kind of thinking that we want to introduce to the younger generation when it comes to building out their own projects. And, hackathons are also a great opportunity to have resources to use these tools. Um, it's great that we have like open source, that means that, there's not that limitation of not being able to use certain software tools. But outside of that, it's also like, in terms of compute power, some of those things are a little bit harder for people that don't have the infrastructure to do that to begin with. And so being at a hackathon setting is a perfect place for that. A lot of companies typically sponsor these events. Um, but yeah, for high schoolers, companies are usually looking for, undergrads or people that are already in industry. So we figured we should open up this opportunity for some of the younger people to get into AI. Yeah. Cool.
A noble goal. I think it's interesting to me because I'm just old enough that, when I was a little kid, I remember people talking about needing to, like, uh, sign up for computer time at their universities. Like you'd get mainframe time when I was a very small child, and we're kind of getting back to that in a way because of the massive compute required to train, a lot of the modern AI stuff and do image processing in an efficient way. Most people do not have a $5,000, NVIDIA card at their house. Like, most people do not. and especially young people. And so I think, yeah, it's a great goal.
Yeah, and just to like add on to that a little bit, coming from doing high school hackathons and then college hackathons and then more professional hackathons, I think there is a huge difference. I would say like in high school hackathons, they're normally hosted by other high schoolers. And because of that, I think what they look for and the mindset isn't necessarily maybe what the industry is always looking for. And and that's kind of what we wanted to add. Like we wanted to make a hackathon for high schoolers, but with the mindset of a professional hackathon. Like how could you sell this product? How could you present this product? Is this product viable? Kind of like adding on to Adrian, like how can we break a product? I think that's all very important. Yeah.
Yeah, just like a final piece. Like, do you know that the four kids that you see in the picture, they each have their own website?
Fantastic.
People, yes, they're so young. I was very amazed. Like, how, when did they learn all of these skills? So imagine like we have people like this kind of passion, motivation in high schoolers, like people who are about to go into their adult life. Can we promote that? Can we motivate people to do those? Yeah.
Yes, in my day it was hacking on your GeoCities or Tripod website. But there were a few others. AngelFire, shout out to AngelFire. What else? trying to think of the other free. They'd give you like you'd get like 1 megabyte of storage space that you could only put HTML on there. And then they stopped letting people use JavaScript because the first kind of exploits started happening for those. It's an interesting time. I'm very old.
Okay, cool. Yeah, let's do a quick shout out. Open source tools are very important. And so I think one of the biggest projects that I worked on when I really got into AI was using, I think Meta had a object detection tool. I can't remember the name exactly, uh, but that was pretty exciting. And another project I was working with YOLO V, and like these are typically, it would be very hard to do this by yourself. But having these tools around, it's great, especially when you're learning. So yeah. And yeah, and I think we can probably just like speed through to the next one in the interest of time. Yeah, tips and tricks to win hackathons. Uh, Collectively, believe it or not, somehow we've managed to win like over 100K in prizes like across all four of us. So we've had a few experiences, let's say that, and not all of them were great experiences, but definitely useful learning experiences. So I think I can maybe start with some tips and tricks. Like the first thing that I noticed whenever I go into a hackathon now is um, the idea is very important, and understanding what the judges are looking for is also very important. So, how do you show that your idea has a grounded reality to it rather than it just being like a POC or like, a thought experiment? It's got to be something that's very palpable. Just like the CAPTCHA system, where there was a very clear and evidenced problem with the current existing systems, and yeah, tangible, that's a great word. And you find a solution to fix that. And I guess the others can give some more advice too. Uh,
And
Yeah, I think having a really good like speaker in your team is important because no matter how technically strong your idea is, whether you use like the best model or you use the coolest tools, without someone who's really good at communicating your vision and your goal, and the problem that you're solving, it won't really go anywhere. So someone that's delivering your hackathon in a way that's easy to understand for everyone, that's very important in my opinion.
Yeah, presentation counts for sure. It's a great point.
100%. Yeah, I know for me, what I think about when I think about hackathons is, funny enough, I'm very business. I'm like, okay, like, is this something that people need? What is the market for it? What would the analytics look like? How is this product viable further than this hackathon? How can we really use this and show the judges that like this is a tangible product that they could add on to, as well as like we could quite literally sell. Maybe like a Shark Tank mentality a little bit, but yeah.
I think those are like very interesting things that we pick up from hackathons where, we are data science students, so we take a data-driven approach. We identify patterns, like how winners win in hackathon. We look at like why did people pick them over like other interesting projects. So I think those are really interesting. If I have one, I would say you need a really nice front end. So we realized that you could build a beast backend that you build a really nice logic system, you can do all of these sort of things. But if you can't demo it to people, you can't show it to people, what would they be able to understand? So if you could build a website that hooks up to all of your functionalities, make it nice, make it pretty, make it aesthetic, that's a guaranteed win, I would say. Yeah. So I think those are some tips and tricks that we did throughout. Okay.
Yeah. So if that's caught your attention and the past few slides have been interesting to you, we could tell you a bit more. Jennifer, did you want to take it away?
Yeah, so if you're interested in Chinatown Hacks, we are a 2-day hackathon that is happening again in the downtown USF location in March. Yeah, we have some really great sponsors. We're going to shout out to NVIDIA, HP, Cerebus, Inklink, other sponsors that I maybe or may not be able to say just yet. But it's thanks to our sponsors as well as USF that we're able to offer over 10K worth in prizes. And what's really cool as well is just attending, you're going to be able to get a prize. And I think someone's saying if you can attend it online. I think right now, unfortunately, you're not able to attend online, but we are looking for mentors and judges, which can be online if you're interested.
24.
Yeah, and OpenCV's working with our friends at Hackster. There may be some short-scale OpenCV competitions, like hackathon duration type competitions coming up soon, so stay tuned for more information on that. If you're not already signed up, you can sign up for the OpenCV newsletter and be among the first to know when we announce that stuff.
So apart from prizes, I heard that's free food.
Free food?
No joke these days, I tell you what.
And it's not
So-
pizza?
Not
Not
pizza?
pizza.
Wow.
So yeah, so I think free admission, free food, free prizes, cool friends, cool hackathon. What else are you waiting for?
Seems like an easy yes if I was a high school kid, I tell you what.
Yeah. And just to talk a little bit about our location, we really want to give a really great shout out to USF, the graduate program where we are all data science students in the MSDS program. Shout out to Victor Palacios for helping us with our practicums. USF downtown location is where the hackathon is going to be. If you're looking to go to the hackathon and you're trying to find, a building in downtown with so many buildings, this is what it looks like. That is kind of at. Yeah. So yeah, if you're interested, here's the QR link.
Sign up.
Fantastic. Thanks for that. We'll also make sure the link is in the show notes here for this episode and across our various social platforms.
Mhm.
Somebody in the chat asked, unrelated, somebody in the chat asked is if OpenCV will be part of Google Summer of Code again this year. We intend to be. They're actually going to announce the accepted organizations, the mentoring organizations for Google Summer of Code 2025 today. So later today, we'll know. The best thing to do would be to go to the GSOC website and camp on there and see what happens. We have a lot of really cool stuff that we want to do this year with Google Summer of Code. You know, huge. They help us out a ton every year, and so fingers crossed we're accepted again. I think this will be like the 10th time we've done it or something like that. So yeah, fingers crossed. Light a little prayer circle or whatever it is you got, and we'll have more Google Summer of Code from OpenCV. Speaking of things from OpenCV, go ahead and do me a favor, unshare your screen. One of the things we do on this show is give away something to you in the audience. In case you're just joining us for the first time, or if you need a little reminder, on every episode of this show, I ask a trivia question based on the presentation, and the first person to answer that question in the Zoom chat window with their messages set to everyone, and not just hosts and panelists, will win the OpenCV University course of their choosing. You can find out what courses are on offer by going to opencv.org/university. In fact, there's a couple of new things over on the OpenCV University side. For one, there's a new free PyTorch course. It's a few hours. It's just released, I think, a couple of weeks ago. It's absolutely free. You can go to opencv.org/university to sign up for that one and check out PyTorch. There's also an OpenCV bootcamp course that's absolutely free over at opencv.org/university. If you have won recently in the trivia challenge, please do not answer, and by recently I mean within the last 2 months, do not answer and give someone else a chance to win. So, out there in the chat, we talked a bit earlier about a different hackathon than this one, and the prize was a signed piece of computing hardware. What hardware was that, and who was it signed by? What hardware was it, and who was it signed by? I'll give you one little clue. He really likes leather jackets. Oh, you're so close there in the chat. You've got the name of the company, but not the guy. We're looking for the guy. There we go. Jensen Huang is the guy we were looking for there. Carlos Gonzalez Rivera is our trivia winner this week. Thank you for participating, and congratulations. Carlos, please send one email to phil@opencv.org with the name of the course you would like. You can see once again what courses are on offer by going to opencv.org/university. Axel Tracy, we'll hit you up, Axel. Phil@opencv.org. It's always phil@opencv.org. Yes, congratulations, Carlos. We got a couple of Carloses in the chat. Love to see it, folks. Question time. I think we got a little bit of time. We got about 5 minutes left for questions. Yeah, Axel Tracy asks, photos and stories of the Bay Area hackathon culture is really interesting to them, and they'd like to know, is there any other way to participate remotely? Currently not for Chinatown Hacks, we mentioned this, but stay tuned because OpenCV is working on some shorter scale competition type stuff with our friends at hackster.io, the official community platform of OpenCV. I'm working with Ginger and Alex over there, maybe to do like some smaller, maybe like a week long or something, just kind of something to have fun with that isn't as stressful as a full-on OpenCV competition where we give teams like 3 months to build their projects. It can be a bit too much. So stay tuned for that. Like I said, please sign up for the newsletter. That is the place we'll announce that type of thing the first. And anything we host on Hackster will be people will be able to participate from all over the world, anywhere that there's not, the various sort of restrictions from the U.S. government. More questions. Let's see here. There's a few folks asking, so y'all have you said over 100K total between the four of you you've won. How many hackathons is that between all of you, like total?
We can probably list individually. I've won two, I think two or three.
Think me and Wei collectively won maybe 10. Let's see. Yeah.
Wow, you're the hackathon sharks, huh?
It's like it was COVID season during that time, so we had nothing to do. Schools were online, remote, so we just went onto the internet, try to find competitions that we can join, and yeah, we landed into hackathons.
I think for me, from in person and online, probably like 4. Yeah.
So we're looking at least 20, I would say, right? Somewhere around 20. Pretty sweet. Are there any other events online or in the city like that y'all are paying attention to that's either similar to this? Maybe there's some other hackathons you've heard about or other competitions that you're paying attention to, anything like that?
Yeah, I think there's definitely always a lot more to do. I mean, we just did one like last weekend, and there's always one every other weekend. So, um, yeah, we definitely refresh Luma pretty often to see what kind of events are happening in the city. There should be another one coming up that we were thinking of going to. But yeah, there's plenty. There's plenty.
Yeah, the Luma Discover tab is popping off here in the Bay Area lately, I think. There's a
Yeah.
lot of meetups and stuff. We have been doing a few, like our friends at Ross do Ross by the Bay. They have a series of talks. People go down to the Mountain View campus for Intrinsic and talk about how to use Ross and the simulator gazebo and stuff like that to make cool robots. Um, I had the opportunity to talk there at one of the first ones of those. Shout out to Kat. How you doing, Kat? Kat Scott from the the heart and soul of Ross on the internet. Yes, there's a bunch of stuff. So yeah, check out the Discover tab on Loomer if you're wherever you are in the U.S. especially. If you live in a decent sized city, you'll probably find some interesting stuff. There's like some LLM meetups here in the city. There's a couple of like happy hours and things like that. There's also check out the schedule for the world's greatest nightclub, DNA Lounge, over at 11th and Folsom. Shout out to Jamie Zawinski. I was just using X Screensaver on my Cyberdeck project, Jamie. Thanks for your service. He's been maintaining it for like 20 some years at this point. So guests, any last thoughts for the audience here? We're about to shut her down for the day. Adrian, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Sure. So thanks for having us again. This was a great opportunity. And glad that the chat is this popping. Yeah, I think honestly, this is a great opportunity. As you said, if I was in high school, I would go for it 100%. And there's just a lot of opportunities to learn, lots of cool mentors, lots of cool judges, and maybe potentially judges from the audience too that might be interested in going in. But yeah, I think it'll be a great time. If anyone else from the team has anything else that they wanted to add to that.
Yeah, I guess I can add something. Yeah, thank you so much for the chat. Thank you so much, Phil, for having us here. I think something I really want to bring upon to people is that it's not where you're at. It's not, where you're at right now in terms of like educationally, or even if you feel like you're not smart, it's like just going online, looking at things and like just taking it from there. Like you really can go anywhere you want to go.
Inspiring, Jennifer. Very inspiring. Wei or Benedict, any last thoughts for the audience out there?
Mm, I would say just try it out. You might not know that you like it, but what if you try it and you like it? What if you build something that people will know you for? What's your sort of legacy? Like, what do you want to do tomorrow? What do you want to do the next day? Try everything out.
Mhm.
Great advice for a hackathon, and even better advice for getting kids to try their vegetables.
Yes, yes,
How
yeah.
do you
I
know
think.
if you don't like it if you don't try it, you know?
Hmm. Yeah. One last thing was, did we have a giveaway, Jennifer? We're gonna.
Oh, a giveaway.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have a giveaway going on right now for the first 50 people that sign up for our hackathon. We're giving away a $100 gift card. So yeah, if you sign up for the hackathon, you have to be the first 50 though, for the giveaway. And we're gonna announce the winner at the hackathon. So be sure to check it out. If like Wei said, free food, free attendance, free prizes.
Yeah.
What more could you possibly ask for, folks?
Mhm.
One thing you could ask for out there is, what are we going to do for next week's show? And I'm here to tell you it's going to be another fun tutorial from OpenCV University, hosted by Dr. Satya Malik and one of our colleagues from OpenCVU. We'll be showing everybody the second part of our Gaussian splatting tutorial, talking about we showed you a bit of the fundamentals last time, and we're going to dig a bit deeper here and do some more educational streaming. Same bat time, same bat channel, Thursday, 9 a.m. Pacific time. We hope to see you there. Folks, take care of yourselves out there. Take care of somebody else if you can, and have a great day wherever you may be.